All right, boys. Welcome to the frying pan.
We're back.
We're back in business. First pod after the RFL draft.
Lots to talk about.
A lot to go over. We got a laundry list. Topics we'd like to go over with everyone.
I say we started off with a little bit of the preseason.
Yeah, preseason last Sunday. Kind of kicked it off. Guys were chomping at the bit to get some action.
Guys were hungry to get back out on that field.
Yeah. So, kick it off. Preseason. Give me a win. Give me biggest winner, biggest loser.
All right. I'd say, unfortunately, I got to do it to you. Biggest loser is the Knights right now. With a couple unknowns with the team. You guys struggled a little bit on the field. I think you guys will put it back together. But you do have a couple injuries still. So, Tommy with the hamstring injury. Tanner with the shoulder injury. Can you talk about a little bit more on that?
Yeah. We had pretty high hopes coming into the preseason. We had 2 games, doubleheader. Tommy gets hurt second drive of the second game, so he played the entire first game. He looked pretty solid out there. A couple nice catches, nothing crazy. First drive of the second game, he's like 50 yards and a touchdown. You know, he had 2 catches, 50 yards, drove the whole field, touchdown, gets hurt. Guarding Charlie Feeler, actually.
Wow.
Charlie Feeler hit him with a little post route action. Couldn't really see it all because I was also in coverage, but I just see Tommy kind of hobble up and Charlie Feeler's just dancing on his corpse from what I can see.
Do you think Charlie will be a decent receiver this year, or do you think that was a one-hit wonder type of thing?
It's tough to say, honestly. I mean...
It sounds like they're really going to mix it up at the quarterback position with Mark and Charlie.
Yeah.
Kind of a 2-man crew there.
I mean, he had a touchdown. He had a nice little post route. I don't think he had any drops. It's tough to say. I don't really know what their quarterback situation will look like. Mark looked pretty good. He made a lot of safe throws. He may have thrown a pick to Holman, I think. He also had like a Hail Mary touchdown, which Charlie threw.
Yeah. I'll give you my winner of the week. This could come as a surprise, but I'm going to say the Feelers. I think coming into this year, we're thinking Feelers are going to be a bottom 5 team.
For sure.
Maybe, the worst team or maybe second worst based on the roster that they have. But then they come out and beat the Knights, who I as my preseason number 2 best team in the league. They come out and beat you guys. So I would say that's my winner of the week. Will they keep that up throughout the season? That's the biggest unknown right now. So I don't know if they can, but that's my winner.
Okay.
What do you got?
Let's see. Winner of the week. I'm gonna go with the Feelers too, but I'll probably go with Charlie. Charlie specifically because it looks like Mark could handle enough of the quarterback role to take some pressure off of Charlie. But Charlie stepped in and threw some big passes. I know he completed one on 4th down. He completed a Hail Mary to Mark. So I don't know if you could say he struggled at the quarterback position because they finished second last year. And both of his receivers, Mark and myself, were first team. So, I mean, he sustained 2 first-team receivers last year. Some people question the quarterback play, but, I mean, if Mark can kind of shoulder some of the load, take some of the pressure off Charlie, I think the Feelers, they look pretty nice.
Who's your
loser? Loser of the week. I mean, we could say Tommy. Tommy got hurt. Let's be real. Tommy's the big loser of the week because he got hurt. He's going to probably miss a couple games. But, I mean, that kind of goes without saying. That's not really a hot take. Hot take, I'm going to go with loser of the week. Big Brandon.
Wow.
I mean, he's...
Interesting.
I mean, he's coming out playing the preseason like it's the fucking Super Bowl. He's celebrating 2-point conversions.
Yeah.
Granted, I'll give him... Both catches were pretty nice. Second catch especially, he mossed a couple guys. But, I mean, we're celebrating 2-point conversions in the preseason. Come on.
Did he moss somebody?
I think he did. He had a really nice catch. The second one especially.
Should have been there.
First one was like kind of contested, not really a moss. Second one, there was some traffic. It was a solid catch. And he spiked the ball. I believe it entered the stratosphere. Wow. It's probably a fucking 200 feet in the air spike. We lost a couple PSI in that ball. A little deflategate action.
Don't throw commish.
But I'm just going to call him the loser of the week because I think he put a big target on his back.
Wow.
He's been talking that shit in the group chat. He's going after Marcus. He says he wasn't going after Dan, but, he was bringing Dan into it. He tried to kill Nick in our game, so I mean, I think he just put a big target on his back for the rest of the season that if he doesn't perform, like week 1, if Marcus comes out, has a good day, I mean, we're not going to hear the end of it.
No. And Marcus can talk. We've learned that. I mean, during the poker at the RFL draft, Marcus, dude, he can yap, man.
Yeah.
He'll get after you.
So, I mean, I think that's a matchup we want to look at is Brandon versus Marcus, week 1, Straw Hats and Feelers.
We can get into that a little bit later, too.
Yeah. Let's see. Preseason standouts. You got anyone?
Yeah, I got a few. Charlie's one of them. Not necessarily for his offensive performance, but dude had 5 picks on defense. Were they easy? Were they to him? Maybe some of them, but he was in the right place at the right time. I think the Feelers might have a steal with Charlie at defense now, playing him at safety.
Yeah.
Second guy also for defense, Holman with 2 picks, also a touchdown or 2. What was your 3rd round pick? I think that's
last pick. He's
last pick. That's a great showing for a guy like that. And my last standout is Logan. I mean, dude showed out this weekend. Some may say he's the wide receiver 1 right now. Maybe,
Yeah.
But
I think
he stood out.
I'd like to shout out Holman because not only did he have a couple picks, I think he's the hardest hitting dude in the league. He was laying the wood on some guys.
He did.
I mean, can we talk about? Were you there for his block? His 15-yard downfield block. I mean, I think we have it right here. It looks like he carried Seth about 10 yards.
Wow.
And
He's not a small dude.
No, he's a big guy, but Holman's just ferocious.
Yeah.
And I don't think Seth liked that at all.
Kind of bullied him.
I mean that's just it's not about the size, it's about the fighting the dog.
Yeah.
And
he's got that.
Holman's got that dog in him. So, I mean, I didn't expect him one of the smaller dudes in the RFL probably throwing the fucking meanest block I've ever seen in RFL history. So, I'm looking forward to that kind of grit on my team. He's flying around, diving, swatting balls. If he gets beat, he gets beat. He's a high effort guy. And he's going to back it up. Everyone's going to lose at DB. But I really like the energy he showed. Other than that, I didn't see the first game, really. I thought Connor had a couple nice catches. He had a nice touchdown grab. Mark looked pretty good at QB. He played 2 games at QB. He looked pretty solid. Luke had a couple nice routes out there.
Mm-hmm.
He ran like a nice little dig route on me for a touchdown. Kind of cooked me.
Yeah. Luke's gonna do his job. He's a guy that really sticks to the script. He's gonna push you deep. Let the other guys work underneath. I think he's a great locker room guy. So. Yeah,
I don't think he had any drops, which was kind of a concern coming into the season. I thought he looked good. And my team, Tanner.
Big unknown right now. The biggest unknown in the RFL.
First game, he looked pretty rough, but it was his first game ever.
Yeah. You could tell he was a little nervous out there, shaking in his boots a little.
Yeah.
There were 5 picks in total in the 2 games?
I will say, I think out of his 5 picks, 2 of them were on 4th down, so I was kind of talking to him like, you know what, pick on 4th down.
Let it rip.
Same thing as an incompletion.
Yeah.
We don't really care. So, it goes on the stat sheet, but... So he probably had, 2 to 3 picks that were bad.
Mm-hmm. But again, it's his first time ever reading the defense.
Yeah, I think that was the main issue. Also, us not having plays drawn up, little miscommunications. Really, his main issue was ball placement.
Mm-hmm.
Arm strength looked good. Spiral looked good. He wasn't throwing ducks or anything. It was just kind of touch.
Yeah.
So I think those are things you can work on, and it's not easy playing QB. I'll shout out all the QBs in the league because I've taken a couple snaps at QB, and it's
stressful.
It gets hectic. The 5 seconds goes by fast. You got guys flying everywhere. It's not easy. And I will say Tanner looked a lot better in the second game. He hit me twice for a touchdown. Then he hit Holman for a touchdown. Tommy for a deep touchdown. If he got that much better from game 1 to game 2, I think he'll be looking pretty good rest of the season.
He's an athlete. I think he'll be just fine.
We do have a pretty tough matchup, the Cougs, your team. Pretty tough matchup week 1. So I don't really know if this is the litmus test for the rest of the season because we're missing Tommy and it's just a rough first game. So even if he has a rough first game, we need to look ahead like 1 or 2 weeks and see how he does there. This is he's still getting up to speed. So
I will say every game the Cougs play this year, it's going to be a tough game. It's like the year after you win the championship, you have a target on your back. You have a target as the best team in the league. Everyone wants to beat you. Every game we're going to have is going to be tough. So I think you guys will play us well.
Yeah, I mean...
We match up well together.
Should be a fun one.
Yeah.
Let's see.
What we got next?
Okay. Talking about the Feelers could be the 2024 Saints. So
Wow. Yeah. So my take on that is Feelers are kind of starting out hot. They could start hot out in the regular season. But as you guys know, last year's Saints, what they were 4-0.
Yeah.
And then just tanked the rest of the year. They started playing better teams, and they look like shit, to be honest. And that's my projection for the Feelers is they're going to ride this high wave maybe for a couple games, and then we're going to see who they really are. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to say. I don't think we looked very good. I mean, they beat us without our number 2 guy, so it's kind of hard to say. I would say Mark looked pretty good at quarterback.
Well, who are their weapons?
I mean, that's the thing is a couple of their touchdowns. I don't want to say they got lucky, but it's not the the high success rate plays. Like we had a tip ball, Holman tips a ball, they catch it for a touchdown. They call it a Hail Mary. Like those aren't things you're not drawing up expecting to score on Hail Marys and tip balls, or Tommy getting hurt and a guy's open.
Yeah. I would say that locker room's a little bit tense too. If you think about last year with Mark maybe wanting to be traded, him and Charlie on the same team again, maybe they don't have the best chemistry.
Yeah, I'll say I do believe Mark and Charlie are trying to keep Brandon level-headed, but it seemed like Brandon, I mean, they won a preseason game and he was talking like it was a Super Bowl.
He's off the rails.
He's a little off the rails. I mean, he is an early favorite for the Brandon Turner Dirtbag of the Year award.
Yeah. Can you explain that a little bit?
I think we'll get into it at the end of the pod when we go over our award predictions.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
early favorite for sure.
Brandon was being a huge nuisance on the field. Nothing wrong with it. I love it. I love when you bring that kind of energy and toxic attitude to the RFL. I like it. I think it makes great content.
Brings in viewers.
I think it gets the guys going. I mean, me and you both, we do it too. Not telling Brandon to stop. Keep it going. I love it.
We need it.
I expect to see a lot more of it week 1, especially against Marcus. So that's must-see TV right there.
Yeah.
We're talking about I mean, I know the positions don't really match up, but it's like a Mike Evans, Marshawn Lattimore. Like, they're going to get active.
Yeah.
From snap 1, it's going to get active.
Yeah.
So
I like that.
Barons might be for real. Big question on their quarterback 1. How we feeling?
Yeah, I think the biggest question's on Mitch. Is he going to be good? I think Seth really showed us that he can play as maybe a low-end wide receiver 1. I think he's got in the tank, though. Clanky's going to be good on defense. Luke's going to stretch the field. So I think they'll be pretty good. But yeah, I mean, what do you think?
I think Mitch is a question mark at quarterback. I mean, just really haven't seen him play enough. Not saying he's going to be good or bad, but I don't have a lot of tape on him. I mean, it's just a true question mark. And I think Mark played a pretty good quarterback for him. So, I mean, if Mitch can play as good as Mark did, they'll be solid. But, the weapons, like you said, maybe a little bit lacking compared to some of the other teams. I don't know. They looked all right. But, when you're playing with someone else's quarterback, it's really hard to predict. I mean, Mark looked pretty good out there, I'll say. He looked like top 2 QB in the league, top 3 at worst.
I think people are thinking it's going to be a 50-50 split between Mark and Charlie, but I think it's going to be more 70-30. I think Mark's just that much better than Charlie at the QB position, and he's kind of going to take over there.
And he's got a fucking hose.
He does. I think in the red zone they might switch it up just because Mark's a big target down there. Or maybe if they're down a bunch, I don't know. I don't know what their plan is, but it'll be exciting to see.
Yeah. Let's see. The Cougs look reloaded.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think,
pretty good.
we lost Grant, but we get a better tight end. Sorry, Brandon, but Dan is 3 times the tight end you are. So, with the addition of Dan and then also Logan stepping up to seem like maybe one of the better wide receiver 2s in the league, I think we're reloaded.
I heard you guys had a little bit of a shakeup in the front office as well. I know Ollie Clevenger was your guys' OC last year, and then I see a new guy.
Yeah, so Ollie's, we just can't rely on him to show up every game. And Logan's little brother, man. He's ready to drop some plays. He said, "I'm gonna give you guys 3 plays, and they're barbecue chicken." So I trust him. I think he's the new OC for the Cougs.
Okay. We got a guest appearance from my cat. Hey, get down. Do we know his name?
No. Or we should give him a nickname. I'll have to think on that.
Have to think on that. I mean, I will say him and Holman were going at it in the practice field.
I heard, yeah.
Him and Holman were running through some one-on-one drills, and I kind of only saw the aftermath, but I heard Holman laid his ass out. And that just goes to show
He's 14.
anyone can get it.
Yeah.
Holman don't care.
Yeah.
He doesn't care if you're 14. He doesn't care if you're 3 foot tall. He doesn't care if you're 400 pounds.
Right.
He's coming at you.
Yeah.
I believe there were some talks, there were some question marks around, did we possibly have bounties on players? Because Holman looked like he possibly was a bounty hunter out there.
Wow.
And
He might in his head.
as the GM of the Knights organization, I mean, we didn't have any bounties out there, but I mean, I'm not going to put a leash on him. When you got a dog, you let him eat.
Yeah.
I'm not going to rein him in.
No. Don't put him in the cage.
No, we're going to let the beast out of his cage.
Yeah.
It's on the rest of the league to stop him.
Yeah. I'll say Brandon's got the biggest mouth in the league, but Holman backs it up.
Yeah.
He doesn't talk a whole lot, but dude, he'll show you on the field.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the biggest heart in the RFL, I would say. We have right here another bullet point. Straw Hats struggle in the preseason, much improved from last year.
Yeah, I mean, they played us preseason game 1. Again, it's like a new roster because sure they have Alex back, but he didn't really play last year.
Yeah.
So with Alex and Noah, Andrew's got 2 great weapons on his hands. I think
so.
I think maybe neither of them are wide receiver 1 right now, but I think they both have potential to be 2 wide receiver 1s.
Yeah.
Or 2 great wide receiver 2s.
Yeah.
So,
Alex is probably the fastest guy in the league, I would say.
I would agree.
Noah had the fastest combine. I don't know if we had other guys that didn't run, so I don't know where he ranks in speed, but he's pretty fast, pretty rangy guy, lanky. I'll say Andrew, somewhat of a rough season last year, but when you really look at it, I mean, he didn't have Alex.
He
didn't have Noah. I honestly don't know who his weapons were, so he's got to be loving his situation where he's got two guys that could, make an impact on any team.
Yeah.
I mean, I would be happy with those as my weapons.
Yeah.
And I would say big shout out to Andrew for subbing for our team when Tommy got hurt. He had I know he's a quarterback, but he had a nice touchdown grab.
He's versatile for sure.
He head tapped Charlie pretty good, and then as well drew up a play for me that I scored on.
Wow.
He told me he was running a street clear out, and I was running a wheel route behind him. Got to respect the football IQ, and I mean that's something
I didn't expect that from him. Honestly, I'm impressed.
As a quarterback or a GM, captain, I mean he's running the show for the Straw Hats organization. I'm impressed by the football IQ. That's what you want on your team.
Yeah, especially at the QB position.
Okay, RFL redraft.
This will be interesting.
Let's just run it through and we can go first 5 guys. We'll go first round.
Okay. I mean, first pick to me, based on the preseason, I mean, no offense to Noah, I think he did great defensively. I think he'll be a weapon out there.
Okay.
But I think he's got a small route tree. I think he's got deep ball. I think he's got a post, and he's got a corner. I didn't see him run much else. Sure, he was guarded by AJ. I think
so.
He's one of the best
Maybe
corners
problems
in the
with
league.
his release.
Problems with his release as well. Is he going to be a wide receiver 1? I don't think so. I think Alex will be the receiver 1 on that team.
Right.
So maybe a little bit of a reach from that 1 pick.
Okay, so you're going with it 1.
I got to go Big Dan.
Okay.
I think he's too versatile. I think tight end's too important because you don't have enough good tight ends in the league. That's my pick 1. Who would you get?
I think at 1, so we're the Straw Hats. Yeah, I'd probably go Big Dan as well. Like you said, he's just kind of a mismatch. I didn't see enough of your guys' game, but I've seen enough out of Big Dan in the preseason, in the combine. He looks like a real weapon. So I would say Dan for sure. At worst, pick 2. Another guy I would throw in for top 2 pick is also on the Cougs is Logan.
I would agree. He's my pick 2.
Yeah. Okay. So consensus, we'll go Dan and Logan as 1 and 2. Logan,
who was a 3rd round pick, which is just crazy.
Yeah. Shout out to the rest of RFL, specifically Charlie.
We had some technical difficulties because Commish is being a real jackass. Could be on both ends.
What's he up to right now?
Should I share?
It's the frying pan. We everything's a hot take here.
AJ's at a high school play right now. Probably loving his life. And his girlfriend made him go. Yeah. He's having a great time. He could have been on the pod tonight, but he had a play to go to.
Wow.
I totally get it.
I mean, AJ a big theater guy?
Huge, actually. Yeah. Damn. He loves theater.
Big Seussical the musical guy.
Yeah. He loves, all the Dr. Seuss musicals. I think his favorite one's The Grinch.
Oh, The Grinch.
Yeah, he loves The Grinch. Come Christmas time, he loves going to that one. But I think he is going to come in soon. We're going to try to finish this RFL redraft. But I had Logan pick 2. You as well.
Yep.
I got to go Tommy pick 3. I know he's got this injury. Maybe it's lingering, maybe not, but I think he's still going to be a good threat, especially coming off that second game, first drive. I think he'll be solid.
Yeah, I think Tommy at pick 3 is pretty chalk. Pick 4? Where are we going?
I think I gotta go Noah Smith.
Yeah, okay.
I think he's still a first rounder. Dude, he was flying around the field defensively. I think he's gonna be real good there, and I think we'll be just fine on offense. But who we got calling in?
Hey, this is Commissioner Jam.
Commissioner Jam.
We got Commission on the line.
Yes, sir.
Hey, so welcome in. We did have to shit on you a little bit about the play. I'm sure you'll understand.
Yeah, that's more than fair. Yeah.
But let's get into it here. Give me one hot take, and then give me your award predictions for the season.
One hot take. Okay. My hot take is going to be that the Feelers do not finish last. I think it's going to be I think the Knights. I think the Knights are going to finish last, but I'm going to give them 2-10.
That is a hot take.
My hot take.
That is a hot take.
Wow. Hot take. That's the point, though, right?
Wow. Dude, that is a hot take. All right. Give me your award predictions.
Listen. If I can say one thing.
Yeah.
I believe in Charlie Kilby.
You and just you, buddy.
All right, awards. All right, I'm gonna give my MVP to Mitch.
Wow.
I said that earlier today. I think Mitch is
I like to say that's another hot take. That's another hot take.
I'm full hot takes today.
You are.
Best overall player in the league, offensively and defensively. My rookie of the year, I got to go with my guy, Big Dan.
Yeah.
I think that guy is an
fair.
absolute matchup nightmare.
Yeah.
For the fellow tight ends. Offensive player of the year, I'm going to go with Mark. I think Mark's just consistently between playing 2 positions.
Yeah.
And I think he's the toughest guy to guard in the league.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go Mark for Opoy, back-to-back for him.
Mm.
Depoy, I'm going to go Mitch. I got to tell you guys, I watched this guy play in high school. Absolute dog. He's going to pick off a lot of passes. Not going to go for a whole lot of deep balls against the Bears.
Mm.
So I think Mitch is my depoy. Comeback player of the year, I think you got to go Alex there.
Yeah.
Even though he's not the sexy pick by any means.
I think he's set in stone. Comeback player of the year.
I mean, he's one of the only guys coming back from anything.
Right. You could say Marcus because he sucks, but is he going to not suck? Probably not. So probably not going to be Marcus. And then what else we got? Rookie. No, I said rookie of the year.
We got the new award. I just came up with it today. It's the Brandon Turner Dirtbag of the Year award.
The Brandon Turner.
It's like the Walter Payton Man of the Year, but the opposite.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go. This is a shock here. But I'm gonna go with Brandon Turner. That guy's a scumbag. I'm gonna go with Brandon Turner. Can't stand it. I'm gonna be honest with you guys right now. Live from the commissioner's desk. Okay, the betting odds for Brandon to make it through the season are currently plus 400 for him to make it through the season.
Wow.
Or just flat out hurt because he's
He's got a target on his back. For sure.
I mean, it's a big back to put a target on as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a big ass target.
Hell yeah.
Oh shit.
Thanks for calling in, Fish.
I do appreciate the time. Unfortunately, intermission is over. I gotta get back to this play.
Wait, what's the play? We were wondering if it was Seussical the musical or the Grinch.
It's Guys and Dolls.
Guys and Dolls.
I mean, I'd like to say something, but we're trying not to get demonetized. So.
Yeah. I'm actually at your guys' alma mater right now.
Wow.
You're in Mount Ord?
Hey, speaking of that, is Tommy there? Is Tommy on the
No.
Oh, Tommy's sister's in that play, though.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. That was his sister because I saw the last name.
Yep, that is Tommy's sister.
Tommy isn't there?
I was wondering that.
All right, shout out Tommy's sister.
He could be here. I was wondering that because it says Evie Wiley, I think.
Yep, that's one of Tommy's many siblings. Dude's got 6 siblings, so.
He's one of 7.
All right, gentlemen.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks for calling, Kamish.
Appreciate you calling in.
Thank you. Appreciate having me in.
There's Kamish with
All right.
some hot takes.
First off, Knights 2-10. Brother.
That's a hot take.
My fucking left nuts were 2 wins. I'm sorry, 2 wins? Come on. I could win 2 games by myself. 2-10's a bold,
It's a bold
take.
prediction. It is.
So, I mean,
I like it though. Keep them coming like that, man.
2-10, come on.
I know.
I mean,
We got another caller, I think. We got someone calling in?
not yet.
Not yet.
I'm speechless. 2-10, I mean, fucking, I'm thinking 10-2.
Wow.
I mean, come on.
Wow.
Might have put a little bit of a chip on my shoulder. I mean, 2-10 is rough. Give me the betting odds on that because I'm taking over.
Yeah.
2 wins.
I would agree.
That's pretty steep. Also, guy seems to be Mitch's number 1 fan.
Yeah.
Calling him MVP, calling him best
Defensive
player in the league.
Yeah.
Once
I
again,
think it's a bit of a stretch. Maybe defensively, but
I haven't seen it, but I haven't seen him play.
Yeah.
I mean, he played in the combine. I don't know. He could be, but I don't have any tape to go off of. Really,
it's a hot take. I don't think Barons will be top 3. So, in terms of that, I don't think he can win either of those awards at being a bottom team in the league.
Yeah, that's wow. Yeah, I'm speechless, boys. 2-10. Yeah, that's not gonna.
Who we got next? Tommy or Charlie?
We got Charlie Feeler.
Charlie
We're gonna get him on
Feeler.
the line.
Charlie Feeler up next.
Hello?
Charlie.
Yeah.
Welcome to the pod, bud.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
We got a couple things for you. First, we want your hottest take, and then we're gonna go into awards for the season. So give us your hot take for the year.
Alright, here's my hot take of the year. I think Aaron Coyle is gonna win Rookie of the Year this year.
Wow.
I think Aaron Coyle is gonna win Rookie of the Year. He was a slept-on pick. Nobody really knew what he had, but preseason, I'm very confident in Aaron Coyle.
Yeah, some might forget he is Mr. Irrelevant. He was the last pick of the draft, so that would be a hell of a take from Charlie.
He did look solid in the game we played him. I believe he had 2 touchdowns. He caught Holman tipped one up to him and then kind of burned my ass, kind of a blown coverage. He had like a little wheel route. I mean, like a 25-yard touchdown. So he put up some numbers in the preseason.
Yeah, agreed.
Give us your MVP and then offensive and defensive players of the year.
I'm gonna have to go. Mitch MVP.
Wow.
It's 2 votes for Mitch for MVP.
Wow.
I think he's got a lot to bring to the table. We're just gonna have to see how it plays out.
Okay. Offensive and defensive players of the year?
Give me Mark Clark, Offensive Player of the Year.
Okay. 2 votes for Mark for that.
Yep.
I think new position this year. Thrive during preseason. I think we're gonna get things rolling over there at the Feelers.
Mm-hmm.
And then Defensive Player of the Year. I would love to vote for myself, but I'm gonna have to go. Connor Adams.
Wow.
Connor.
I would say that's a hot take.
That's.
I can't see it because I don't know who that guy's going to guard, but hey, I
He's
respect
gonna lock
it.
up Alex Cook. I can see it now.
Heard it here first, guys.
I can't wait to see that matchup, to be honest.
I can see it now.
We're talking. That's week 1 matchup, correct?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah.
Alex Cook is a straw hat.
Wow.
Okay, and then kind of last question here for you, Charlie. As far as award predictions go, we were trying to figure out what the split's going to look like between you and Mark at quarterback. Can you give us a number? Is it going to be 50-50, like 70-30? How much do you think Mark is going to be at quarterback versus wide receiver?
We at the Feelers organization, we discussed this, me and Mark. We have decided to go the 80-20 route. Mark
Okay.
Clark is QB1. we're kind of rolling as that to be the aim, but depending on the competition and games, it might be different.
Mhm.
Also, you never know how the game's going. One might be cooking, one might be having a bad game. So
Okay,
it's really all up to how the games go.
Hell yeah.
Okay, last thing. We've kind of been talking about Brandon and his preseason antics. I just want to get your take about kind of Brandon's behavior during the preseason, acting like it was, the Super Bowl. I just want to, from the Feelers organization, I want to get your take on what do you think Brandon's going to be up to this year and how are you going to rein him in?
Yeah, well, over here at the Feelers, I've had internal talks with him, private discussions. I have a lot of respect for tight end Marcus Flannery.
Mm-hmm.
He's an RFL vet. I think he deserves respect. And personally, I think Brandon's antics is putting a target on the Feelers' back.
Yeah, I would agree.
And we're not trying to have that image. He refuses to listen. And I'm not too sure. He's kind of a loose cannon. If these antics do keep up, he might be slapped onto the trade block. Who knows? But
Ooh.
Wow.
we are not happy with the way he has been behaving.
Okay. Good to know. Any chance you're with Preston?
No, not currently.
Okay. I just assumed you guys were hanging out.
There's a good chance of that.
Okay. I just didn't know if he was with you. I was going to ask him a couple questions, but appreciate you calling in, Charlie.
Yep. Thanks for calling, Charlie.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
Yep.
See you guys Sunday.
See you Sunday.
All right.
Let's unravel that a little bit. Mitch, another MVP vote, which maybe they know something we don't, but that's a shock to me. Also, Brandon on the trade block.
I think I don't know how true that is.
Yeah.
I mean, who you gonna fucking trade him for?
Yeah. Marcus?
Bag of peanuts? I mean, I don't think they would take Brandon for Marcus. Marcus is a huge part of the Straw Hats locker room.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying one's better than the other, but I mean, for your culture, who would you rather have?
Yeah.
Marcus is a stand-up guy. He's a favorite for Man of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of in between him and Zach Nels.
Yep. Zach Nels Man of the Year.
Yeah, the Zach Nels Man of the Year award. So I mean, you're talking about trading a Dirt Bag of the Year candidate for Man of the Year.
Yeah.
Playing on the field.
I think they're kind of stuck with him, regardless if they put him on the trade block or not. You're stuck with that guy. You drafted him in the second round.
Yeah, I mean, you're not trading your second round pick.
No.
All right, final caller. We're gonna attempt to reach Mr. Thomas Wiley himself.
Wow. Drag queen himself.
The drag queen, as he's coming to be known. Some will say that this guy might be made of glass. Gets hurt in the preseason.
It's embarrassing, to be honest.
But let's hear what he's got to say. Thomas Wiley.
Welcome to the pod. Welcome to the pod.
Hello.
We got a couple things for you. First, we want to hear your hottest take for the upcoming year, and then we're going to go through some awards. So give us your hottest take to start this off.
Hottest take. Hottest take. I think that the Pittsburgh Feelers got to figure it out in the QB room. Right now, it's just the league's got to figure it out. Something's got to happen. Mark, a known wide receiver, Charlie, their supposed quarterback. Charlie played 3 snaps, and I'm pretty sure he got picked off one of them. They gotta figure something out.
I think they actually do have it figured out. We just talked to Charlie on the phone, and it seems like it's going to be more of an 80-20 split with Mark at the helm. So it sounds like Mark is primarily the QB1 there.
Gotcha.
Yep.
All right.
Wasn't a great hot take, I'm going to say.
Yeah, give us a different hot take.
Yeah.
Different hot take. If you have seen our Commissioner AJ Gillespie's awards, his predictions, he's got Mitch up there with being one of the better QBs.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying anything about the guy. I've only played with him once. I have no idea what his defensive capabilities are, but his QB play is highly questionable.
Mm-hmm.
Our guy, the Knights QB, didn't have a great showing, but he picked it up in game 2. Mitch, I played with him once. Not great. He's got a lot to prove. My hot take is he's going to have to really step it up to meet expectations.
Well, you'll like this. We've talked to AJ and Charlie, and they both named Mitch as their MVP pick.
Yeah, that's I mean, if anything, mine's a lukewarm take, and that those are both hot takes.
Yeah, I would
Those
agree.
are both very, very bold.
Yeah.
Bold.
I would
hot
agree.
takes.
I nothing against Mitch, but I think it's insane to have him at MVP
As a rookie.
over AJ. I mean, AJ's got weapons. I mean, his weapons. AJ's wide receiver 2 is better than the Barons wide receiver 1.
Yeah.
And the Barons' third weapon, if you're counting Dan, is probably also better than the Barons wide receiver 1.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, having him as the MVP is a real hot take. AJ's got it fucking made in the shade. He's got 3 legit weapons. He's got prior chemistry with Austin. I mean, I think it's pretty chalk to have AJ for MVP, so yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, we can dive into awards now. Who do you got as your MVP, and then give me offensive and defensive player of the years?
My MVP, I think, I got to agree and go with AJ. He's pretty clear cut. He's got a team full of weapons. He was already, I think, personally snubbed to the MVP reward last year.
I would agree.
I got to go MVP, and I think it's pretty few and far in between unless something crazy happens and one of these wide receivers kind of just goes too crazy, and it's undoubtedly them.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the league expansion really opened the playing field up, and second year defense is the hardest spot to play, I think, outside of quarterback, and maybe some of these second year defensive guys have gotten better, have learned from last year, but I think it's pretty far and it's few and far in between just AJ.
Yeah. You got offensive and defensive player of the year.
Offensive player of the year, that's a tough one because there's a
lot of
couple
good
of guys that could do it. I mean, I just watched the second half of the preseason game of your guys' game, the Cougs game, and Logan, he seems pretty legit, so he could be up there, especially with AJ at the helm. I mean, I would throw Mark up there, but once again, their quarterback room, I don't know. I guess Charlie finally opened his eyes and saw he couldn't throw the ball, so Mark is going to be splitting now, so that takes away his wide receiver numbers, but also he's not going to be getting full reps as quarterback.
And I would like to say that if a quarterback wins MVP, another quarterback should not win Offensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
Now, if a wide receiver wins MVP, then the quarterback can be offensive player, but we don't need the first best quarterback as MVP and the second best quarterback as offensive player.
Right.
Yeah,
that would be my
sure.
take.
And there also needs to be a discussion about, if Mark is really the only one outside of maybe a couple of trick plays or maybe a guy's having a bad day, but every single game going 80-20, Mark is bound to get a touchdown or two, especially when they get down into the red zone. So I don't think we can count wide receiver stats towards any of those awards for quarterbacks. Who's to say Steigs or Logan or Dan doesn't throw AJ a couple touchdowns on the year, once they get down there. So
I think we'll just have to look at it, and if you're playing over 50% of your snaps at one position, then that's your position.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's very fair. So yeah, I gotta go. MVP, it's so tough. Yeah, I mean, you guys are also up there. Tanner's got to figure some stuff out. Steigs got to now compete with Logan, so that might hurt his snap share. I don't think, there's really no other guys I can think of. I mean, if Mitch is as good as they say they are, maybe Seth.
This guy's going off the fucking
I
radar.
feel like he's more of a defensive player, so.
Just to give him a
that's
minute.
tough. I'll have to go, as of now, I'll have to probably say Logan.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna fire off a couple questions at you. Try to actually get some hot takes into the frying pan here. Who's the most overrated guy in the RFL that you've seen this preseason? Based on awards predictions, based on what you've seen on the field, or maybe what you haven't seen on the field.
Most overrated guy. Once again, haven't seen him, but I gotta go with Mitch. He's unproven. Everybody's talking a lot. I've seen him play a whole game pretty much, and he really didn't do anything offensively or defensively. So who's to say he was trying his hardest, but from what I saw, he seems to be the most overrated as of now, especially with all the MVP votes.
Okay, and then I'm going to ask you, who's one guy in the league that you think just could not fucking guard you? Put him on an island. Who are you cooking up?
I mean, there's so many, but if I had to pick one proven, I got to go Connor. Love the guy. Great fella.
Great guy.
Great locker room guy.
I played him for literally one down and 2 for 2, 50 yards and a tutty, so 10 steps behind me. I mean, he's the only one I've been proven against, so
That's fair.
him.
Yep. Okay, last question, then I'm going to kind of bring up a topic from the commish with you. Last question. Out of all the guys in the RFL, who do you think has the smallest dick?
Oh, man. I think I got to go Brandon.
Okay.
Gotta go Brandon. I mean, even if it's not, like, if you measure all of us out, his might not be the smallest, but proportionally, it's gotta be.
All right, man. I was just trying to get some hot takes going. I love it. Sorry to put you on the spot like that. Okay, final.
I'm just answering questions.
Yeah, man. I mean, can't hate the guy for answering a question. Last topic, and this one really pissed me off. I'm gonna have to say, Kamish was on the phone. We played 12 games, right, Thomas?
Correct.
How many wins do you think he said the Knights were gonna get?
Knowing him, he's already got pretty bad predictions when it comes to MVP, so I'm going to go with maybe 5 is what his prediction is. Selling us short.
Well, you'll love to hear that he predicted us at 2 wins and 10 losses.
I'm going to say it. CT question here. I don't know what sports this guy's have played, but CT might be the culprit for that answer. He might be having his Antonio Brown moment. We'll have to keep a closer eye on it. If he takes his shirt off at any point in the season, we might have to start asking questions. But 2 wins is fucking egregious. That's insane.
Right. I mean, kind of where I was coming from, and I told Austin this on the pod. I mean, I think my left nut is worth 2 wins personally.
Yeah. I mean, I think we could let Ethan Holman play out there by himself, and he might beat the Straw Hats. So, no hate to the Straw Hats, but 2 wins, that's absolutely insane.
So, I'd just like to put a little bit of a chip on your shoulder while you're rehabbing. We're getting projected about 2 wins. So, if that gives you any motivation.
Yo, it gives me plenty of motivation. And as, I'm not sure how much the RFL has disclosed, but, all RFL members know I am currently hurt. So that's a lot to think about in my rehab, I'm getting better, and now I got something to get better for. 2 wins, that's insane.
Final thing I'd like to bring up is that AJ was also, believe it or not, he's at your sister's play right now. That is not a joke, by the way. We're not fucking with you.
Yeah, I might have to look into that. I know.
Why aren't you there? Why aren't you there? Shouldn't you support your sister?
I'm going Sunday morning with my family.
Okay.
AJ, I don't know how old the fella is. I think he's 22 or something, but going to a high school play, we might have to ask him more questions than one.
So, some say he could be scouting out there. We don't know.
Could be scouting.
For the RFL, of course.
Yeah. We don't know. Maybe Preston's there, and he's there. I don't know. Preston might be in that high school play. I'm not sure.
All right. Well, it was a pleasure having you, Tommy.
Of course. It's a pleasure being here.
Thanks for jumping on the pod. We'll catch you Sunday.
Of course, guys. See you Sunday.
See you, buddy. Some hot takes.
I'll have to unravel on that one. Oh, man.
What a guy.
I'd like to say, I think the commissioner's kind of taken an Adam Silver role. Who's a hated GM? Roger Goodell, Adam Silver?
Yeah.
Like, he's becoming hated with all these hot takes, and I don't know. What's your thoughts?
2 wins is pretty egregious.
Yeah.
I mean, I consider myself pretty unbiased. You know, I was picking my team to finish 2, 3 at the worst. You know, we got to let all that shake out on the field. We could finish 4th. We could finish 5th. I just don't see it. I will say I do think the RFL has gotten a lot more competitive.
Mhm.
Straw hats look a lot better now that they've reloaded. Hail Marys don't exist anymore. That's my team. The Feelers, you know, they were 2nd last year. Some were saying they're going to be bottom of the barrel this year. They looked pretty good. Even if you want to say my team's last, I don't think we're going to win 2 games in any universe.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, shit, if we do, I mean, I'll be on the pod. I mean, that'll be pretty embarrassing, but, you know, I'll have to own up to it. But I don't see 2 wins. I don't think any team is going to have 2 wins. I think every team, even the worst team's getting 3 or 4, I would say. So
I would agree.
So yeah, I would say that was a pretty hot take,
That was a hot
and
take.
definitely put a chip on my shoulder.
Yeah. What we got next? We got anything left?
See if we got any points left. Our award favorites.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of talked about it before, but I think AJ's my MVP vote. Personally, I know Tommy was talking about how Mark, he doesn't see him as like offensive player of the year, but if he's playing quarterback and receiver, if he has great numbers at both, how can you not put him at offensive player of the year?
Dude, I just think that's going to be hard because how do you compare those stats to guys that are only playing one position?
Mm-hmm.
Even in the MVP vote, I mean, what if AJ is the better quarterback, but Mark has, you know, close numbers but better receiving numbers? I think we need to sit down and talk about this because what I don't want is a bullshit Travis Hunter situation where you give the guy an award because he was good at 2 positions, but you have other guys that are great at 1 position. Ashton Genty, fucking all-time running back season.
Mm-hmm.
He loses the Heisman because another guy was good on both sides of the ball.
He had more stamina.
Yeah, that's
played more
not
snaps.
that's not what I want in the RFL. So, I mean, I think Mark's a great player. He's a great wide receiver. He's a great quarterback, but he's got to pick. We have to pick one as a league, or he has to pick one. Whatever we decide, what he wants to, you know, his stats to count for.
Yeah.
And at that point, he should probably just play 100% of the quarterback. And if he plays wide receiver to help his team win games, that's fine. But I just don't know if it should factor into Offensive Player of the Year because it's just not fair to guys like you, me, Logan, Alex, Tommy, Noah, like all these guys that are potential Offensive Player of the Years or potential first teams. I mean, they're not playing 2 positions.
Yeah. I'm going to go Logan as my Offensive Player of the Year.
Okay.
And a couple reasons. I think he is the best wide receiver 2 in the league. And also, if what happened in the preseason, week 1, happens again, where I get doubled every play, he's got a one-on-one matchup with their second best corner. So I can see him eating alive. And then defensively, I think Noah Smith's Defensive Player of the Year.
Okay.
I think he's going to be flying around the field. I think he'll have the most picks in the league. I think we'll give it to him.
Okay. Comeback Player of the Year, I don't think it's worth mentioning because really Alex is the only guy coming back from injury. AJ says Marcus is coming back from being an ass. I don't really appreciate that kind of commentary on Marcus. I think he's a great guy.
Again, Kamish is getting strikes against him.
Yeah.
He's going to get booed next year at the draft, I'm thinking.
He could be booed. But my MVP, I would come out with a hot take and call Tanner MVP, but with us missing Tommy, I don't think that's gonna happen. He's missing a big weapon. I mean, shit. Like, I mean, I can say AJ, but that's not very exciting. If I had to pick, I would say AJ, but if I wanted to toss it up, I would throw Mark up there for MVP. If he plays quarterback full time or if he's playing wide receiver full time, we don't know. I think he's a guy that could contend. The other quarterbacks, I don't know. Mitch and Andrew.
Big unknowns.
I mean, I haven't even seen Mitch play. I didn't watch the Straw Hats play. I know Andrew's got weapons. And he also looked pretty decent at wide receiver, I'll say. But Offensive Player of the Year, once again, I would like to say myself, but missing Tommy, I'm going to see a lot of double teams, so I really don't see that happening. So for Offensive Player of the Year, I'm going to go with my co-host, Austin Steigers. Send the fucking double team, it doesn't matter. I think guy's going to cook. So he's saying Logan, I think he's just being humble. Not to take anything away from Logan, I think he's a great player. Steigs is going to see double teams and cook double teams. So, I mean, take that how you want it. I don't know if there's a defense you can scheme up to stop him, especially with AJ throwing him the ball. I mean, AJ's a great quarterback. So, I think he's in the running for Offensive Player of the Year. The only thing that might hurt you is if you do end up missing games, might hurt your stats.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll throw your name up there because I don't think anyone else has, and I think that's kind of egregious not to throw your name in the running for Offensive Player of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year, I might be a little biased, but I'm gonna go with my guy Ethan Holman.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's got the biggest heart in the RFL. He is. I mean, I think he's fucking Troy Polamalu safety. He's running around. He's
Hard hitter.
He's playing like his life's on the fucking line. I mean, nobody else plays like that. Noah Smith, I know he's rangy, whatever. I don't think he's laying the boom like Holman's gonna. I mean, guy's just a dog. Maybe he won't win Defensive Player of the Year, but, I think he's gonna give it his all. And I don't know he gives 110% every play. So,
Good.
as far as Dirtbag of the Year,
Yeah.
Brandon Turner Dirtbag of the Year award. Obviously Brandon,
Mm-hmm.
but close second. I'll throw your name in the hat as well.
Yeah.
You like to celebrate. You like to roll the ball at people. If you guys have watched the Super Bowl from last year, Baby Yoda, Stiles rolled the ball at him. He punted it. It went probably 3 yards, but you like to celebrate. You like to taunt, and it's really fun to watch. I saw you make a big catch on Noah Smith and kind of tap on his head, and it made it look like a tear came out of his eye. He didn't really have much of a rebuttal. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't really know what the guy's made of, but
I will say, if you guard me, I'll make you look silly, and I'm going to celebrate on you. That's just
who he is.
It's in stone. That's going to happen. So, if you do want to guard me, try. But I'm going to baby you for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we love to see it. I also throw my name in the hat. I love to celebrate. I do believe I'm the all-time league leader in personal fouls. I got, I believe, 2 personal fouls last year, both on Ethan Holman, my guy. But I mean, I threw the ball off his head and I smoked him on a tackle. But that's the kind of shit Holman brings out of people. He brings out the worst in you, which is why I want him on my team.
Yeah.
So I'll throw my name in the hat. I'm known to get a personal foul or two.
He's Vontez Burfict-esque.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's gonna get you riled up.
Mm-hmm.
Lastly, I would like, just for fun, give me your rankings of the new hot off the press RFL jerseys. 1 through 5. Give me your jersey rankings.
Oh man. I'm gonna start from the bottom.
Okay, so number 5, worst jerseys in the RFL. I don't think any of them are bad, but we're just gonna say these are the worst jerseys.
I gotta go Straw Hats.
Okay.
I don't love the logo.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't like how it blends. The Barons too, or 4. I think their name sucks. Amelia Barons. What the fuck?
No, I believe their jerseys say the Amelia Dark Side. We're calling them the Barons. It's kind of confusing me as well.
Yeah.
I thought their name was the Barons, but their jerseys say Amelia Dark Side.
Yeah. It just doesn't blend together. I had to go Feelers at 3. Pretty basic. I don't hate it. Pretty basic. I almost like the basic jersey look, but not a big fan of the yellow.
I think the color hurts them.
Yeah. I got Knights 2. I think it's a solid logo. And then I got Cougs 1. I could be biased there, but I have the Cougs tatted on me. How can I not put them at 1?
Would you like to show the camera?
No.
Okay. We'll save that for a later pod.
Yeah.
Save that for one of the pods where we're drinking.
Yeah.
I'll give you my rankings. I'll start from the bottom as well. 5, I'm going to go with the Dark Side or the Barons.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, I'm not really sure what's going on there. I do kind of like what they got going on with the sleeves, and I do like the color scheme, but the logo, like you said, it's a little strange. I'll go with the Feelers at 4. I don't think the design is bad, and their name's pretty funny. The yellow just hurts them. It's just not a great look. Probably been better off going with black, and then yellow's the secondary, but 3, I'm going to go with the Cougs.
Okay.
I do like the design.
The Cougs in the middle doesn't look great.
To me, it's just very simple.
Yeah, I would agree.
It's very clean, classic. It reminds me of the Patriots jersey. I do think it's a well-made jersey. It's just very classic and simple. I don't think in a bad way. I do like that the numbers are on the sleeves. And you guys have the number on the front as well. I do like that. Number 2, I'm going to go with the Straw Hats. I like the Straw Hats jersey, and I actually really like their logo and the blue they went with. And I think the anime inspiration, I like it, and I think it really fits their brand. So I think that kind of, it fits the organization well, and I do like the theme they're going with. At 1, I'm biased. I made the jerseys. I'm going to go with the Knights. I do think we have the best logo, for sure. And I like our color scheme as well. I will say, not having the not having the number on the front takes away a little bit, or the number on the sleeves also takes away a little bit. But I do like our color scheme the most, and I do like our logo the most. So that's what I'll say. Well, obviously I'm biased. That's my team. I don't think there's any bad jerseys, and I think it's a good addition to the league.
Oh yeah. You got any hot takes then in the pod?
Hot take. I mean, I would like to say that we're going to come out and beat you guys week 1. I just don't think we can, honestly, without Tommy. Even with Tommy, it's a tall task. I mean, I'm pretty pissed off. I'm going to come out firing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys have seen me this motivated. I had a real chip on my shoulder. I mean, I don't think it's going to be enough. I'm going to see a lot of double teams. You guys got a lot of firepower. So, I mean, I don't think it's a hot take to say we're going to win more than 2 games. But, and you guys are a very tough matchup for us week 1. But I'm going to come out and say that Tanner throws 5 touchdowns in one of his first 2 games. I don't know about this week.
Okay.
Could be next week, but I'm gonna say Tanner's throwing. He's getting him a 5 tutty game in one of the first 2. You guys are a tough matchup when we don't have Tommy, but I see Tanner throwing 5 touchdowns in one of his first 2 games.
Okay. I'll go my hot take. This might not be a crazy hot take, but I think Barons are putting up 50 week 1.
Okay.
So that's my hot take.
And that's playing the Cougs.
Yep. I think they'll put up 50 against us. I think Mitch will show out a little bit. I think Seth will be good. I still think we'll beat them because I don't think they can stop us. But I think they'll put up a 50 burger.
I think they'll put up less than 20. So
Okay.
You guys just got a good team, and I think Seth is solid. But I mean, you guys are gonna double team him. It's really hard. It's easy to take away a guy with a double team, especially when you have good athletes like the Cougs do. Big Dave, he's a solid tight end, but Dan is also a solid tight end. So I mean, Dave could put up some numbers, but I think Dan's gonna be good in coverage.
Dave will have no touchdowns week 1.
Okay, no touchdowns for Dave. I don't.
And I think we should bring up Dave's name, or he will cry. He will be a little baby about not being brought up on the podcast. So we should talk about him a little bit, whether it's positive or negative.
Okay. Yeah, real quick. Just so everyone gets a participation award, who didn't we name? Let's give everyone a shout out. I don't know if we talked about Nick, my tight end. He's going against Dan. I don't know what his offensive numbers are going to look like, but I expect some possible lockdown performance out of him.
Wow.
I mean, you guys might still put up points, but I think Nick. We literally drafted this guy for the Cougs for Dan. So I think he's going to come out and show why we drafted him.
Yeah. I think the benefit of drafting Nick is he is physical, and Dan hasn't seen that yet.
Mm-hmm.
Going against, who did he go against? Marcus last week. Marcus isn't that physical. He kind of played off of him. I think Nick's going to press him a little. So I think he'll be a little bit more physical, and I can see that.
Okay. Anyone else we didn't mention? Clanky, you want to say anything about him?
I have nothing for him. He was out sick last week.
I believe he caught the Top Cats fever?
Top Cats fever, yeah.
It
It's
just-
hard. Hit No Smith, too.
Yeah, you gotta hope that's not contagious for the Barons organization.
Yeah.
Zach Nels, we didn't really talk about him. He's on your team. I mean, he's the namesake of the Man of the Year award.
Mm-hmm.
Great locker room guy.
Great locker room guy. I mean, as I called Tommy in the press release today, he's going to be a drag queen as well. We're not looking for Zach to really stretch the field because we got guys to do that, but he's going to be a short route, middle route kind of guy.
He's got a lot of speed.
He's solid.
I don't think people give him enough credit. I mean, I told you last year. I think you guys were sleeping on him last year. I think because I've covered him, and I think he's kind of slept on. He's fast.
Yeah.
But we miss anyone else that we haven't named? I think we went over all the tight ends. Talked about Marcus, Brandon, Nick. Dave got his shout out. Here you go, Dave. Trying to think. Luke. We talked about Luke. He looked pretty good in the preseason.
Quarterbacks. I think we got everybody.
Got all the quarterbacks. Just making sure nobody gets their feelings hurt. We get everyone a quick little mention. Yeah,
I think that's it.
I think that's everybody. I would like to give a frying pan shout out to my co-host and best friend, Austin Steigers. Just bought his first house. If you want to talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
Really proud of the guy. I think it's a great move for him.
Yeah, hopefully we move in March 21st. Hopefully we can have some of the guys over.
Woo!
Yeah, a little grill out. I don't know.
And
Word on the street, I might buy a Blackstone for the boys.
Ooh.
So.
And I believe, if you guys have ever seen this television program, King of the Hill, you have a King of the Hill-esque front porch that, from my point of view, looks like a perfect spot to drink an ice-cold beer.
Oh yeah, there's a bar nearby. It's called, we call it the Yak. I can definitely
Can I call it
see
the Yak Shack?
the Yak Shack. Yeah, I can see the boys definitely, getting hammered, playing some pool, and going back to the crib and pulling a King of the Hill.
Oh, yeah. Possible, I mean, New Richmond seems like a great spot to drink a couple ice-cold beers and maybe throw some beer bottles at a train or
Yeah.
a warehouse or something.
For sure. Might get someone super drunk and make them jump in the river.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Perfect spot for that, for real.
yeah.
So.
But just wanted to give a quick shout-out to my guy. I think
Oh yeah.
we talk a lot about on the field, but I like to give guys shout-outs for
Yeah.
my guys that are grinding off the field as well.
I think that's up and coming too.
Yeah, we're going to have a little segment for you in one of the upcoming podcasts. I'd like to go over my LinkedIn Warriors, top 5 LinkedIns in the RFL.
Oh.
So if you're seeing this, I probably sent you a friend request. We're going to have an upcoming segment.
Update your LinkedIn.
Update your LinkedIn if you want to be on the top 5 because I want to give a shout-out to my guys grinding off the field. I think we got a great community in the RFL, and there's a lot of guys putting in work on the field, but also putting in work off the field that I'd like to give a little shout-out to.
Yeah, I think next week, looking forward to that, as well as week 1 performances. We'll really dive into week 1. I think it's gonna be a dogfight. So I'm looking forward to it.
All right, Austin.
Yep.
Great pod.
Great pod.
All right, boys. That was the frying pan. Hope you enjoyed.